Deepa ma'am, you can start, ma'am.
So good morning, everyone. It's great pleasure for me to welcome Mr. Perumal Jayakumar for today's SDP session. Today we have a special session on design thinking. So before I, give a brief intro about Mr. Perumal, let's just try to understand what design thinking is. It's basically an iterative process in which organizations or individuals seek to understand the users, challenges the assumptions, redefine the problem, and try to attempt to find alternative strategies for problems and or solutions. So today we have our speaker who is a specialist in design thinking, and that too in finance. So I'm very happy to welcome Mr. Perumal Jayakumar. He's a risk management and an analytics leader from Bengaluru. Thank you very much, sir, for joining in. I hope the session will be very great. And let me just give a brief intro for the participants who have just joined in. Mr. Perumal Jayakumar is an experienced financial services risk management advisor with over 16 plus years experience in risk management and analytics consulting. He has handled client delivery for various clients in US, Thailand, Japan, Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, Korea, Indonesia, Middle East, Europe, and Indian markets. He is an alumnus of Bharathidasan Institute of Management, Trichy, with a specialization in finance. So thank you very much, sir, for joining in. And it's over to you, sir, for the session.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Deepa, for the introduction. I hope my audio is clear.
Yes, sir, very much.
Very well.
Yeah, and special thanks to Dr. AGV Narayan, who is also one of our alumni, for giving me this opportunity, because I always love to interact with students. It's great to be here. Yeah, without further ado, let me get into the session. Dr. Sriraman, is my screen visible? Do I?
No, it's not visible, sir. Still not shown.
Okay, just give me a minute so that I will share my screen. Yeah,
Visible.
is it good?
Good.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. On a Saturday morning, it's a very sunny morning in Bangalore. It's great to be interacting with you all. Today's topic, we are going to talk on art of problem solving through design thinking. Most of you are wondering in terms of, what is this topic, or maybe I know a lot of this, what is design thinking, right? Just hold on, you're going to have a very good interactive session. Yeah. I'm Perumal Jayakumar, like Dr. Deepa highlighted. I have around 16 plus years of experience in the business consulting and analytics field. And having worked across for global clients, I've always seen that anytime, either in our personal day-to-day life or in terms of in a work life, or most of your students in your student life, all of us have, will go through, we try to solve problems day in and day out. There's nothing new, right? So in terms of, is there some, the objective of the session is, so just to kindle your thoughts to ensure that we are not just looking things just from a microscope view of a problem solving, but rather can we bring in like a telescopic or a big picture view, right? Which is where I want to leverage design thinking, in terms of concepts, and at least introduce you in terms of how we can solve problems, but how can we solve it effectively? Yeah. Okay. Having said that, let's start with the trivia. The question is on the screen. Please name an object whose design is unchanged for millennia, right? Can you all use your chat window and give your guesses?
மைக்கே அன்மியூட் பண்ணாதீங்க.
Are you all responding on your chat window? Great. Yeah, I see some. Yeah, I see some of you have given the answers. Yeah, great. It is the safety pin, and you wouldn't believe. Okay, even during the early Egyptian times, right? Okay, this was invented in terms of fixing torn cloths, etc. Right, but this is one minor object. If we see, the design has not changed for so long, right? The objective of it, or the usage of it, and this is something I think all of us use it as a very good emergency, right? Yeah. So just wanted to just bring and just kindle your thoughts how it need not be just the bigger ones, right? Okay, it could be just a small day-to-day object we are seeing, right? And the other is, that's where I want to highlight that it need not be a complex one, right? Yeah. If in case we look at observe what is happening in nature, there are a lot of solutions to a lot of our problems. Having said that, just wanted to highlight. So yesterday, as a my son, it was my son's birthday, so he wanted to go to Barbecue Nation. Yeah? We went there, and this is a place generally for special occasions we go. I've just wanted to understand how many of you all have been to Barbecue Nation. Can you type it in the chat window, or any barbecue place? And can you all highlight what is the unique feature about any of these barbecue place which stands out from other restaurants? Yeah. So if you see the barbecue, right, the way it started is very interesting, right? In terms of, I think there was this was started by someone who was working in the restaurant industry, and he realized that whenever they get some starters and so on, before they get it from the kitchen to the table, it becomes cold. So that's when it stuck as an idea that why can't I have something like a tandoor or a barbecue on the table, so that the customers experience that this is something which they are able to do some seasoning and so on. At the same time, they're able to feel that it is hot, and that gives a unique experience. So this is just a simple idea, but then now this has become a big uh, restaurants, and as an entrepreneurs, many have taken it, and they've taken it to the next place. Yeah. So just wanted to share that in terms of how such a small idea, but if you're able to make it effective, can be a differentiator for you. Having said that, now let's get into the agenda for today's session. This is where, like I highlighted, right? Today, I want to keep the session more in a generic way, right? Not getting into more of very complex areas, right? But introduce you, right? So all these examples I'm saying, they are all day-to-day life problems. But most of us in our schools or colleges, we don't have formal training. Yeah, each of us have our own methods how we try to solve this. Yeah? In all this, the key is first we should know what is the problem. We need to identify the problem. Right? Then we have to formulate the problem statement, and then right, and how can we use design thinking is just one of the philosophy or a mindset in terms of solving a problem. There are various techniques. Part of my analytics experience, we use various problem solving techniques, right? If time permits, I'll try to touch upon those. At the same time, I also want to level set that this session is not in terms of just design thinking, right? Because design thinking, it's an ocean, and it'll take at least even like 2 days of a total interactive workshop. That's when we can do justice to design thinking, right? So that's when Dr. EGV Narayan and we were discussing, I wanted to highlight that as students community, I realized that while I was working, when I learned these concepts, I realized it'll be good if, as a student, if I had known this, so I could make some of my learnings in a much more effective way and use it in corporate world, right? That's where I want to share with you all. This session is more in terms of how do we solve a problem, and take some of these real life examples. And that's where I'm giving you, kindling your thought into some of these case studies and examples, and kind of also merge it with, some of the design thinking concepts to have as a starter. And then if you're all interested, as a follow-up, we can have like detailed workshops, etc. And it is better done interactive. Ideally, it should be done face to face. So given the COVID situation, obviously all of us are working remote. Yeah, great. Let's move on. So I've been talking of, problem solving. Yeah. So I have a quote here on my screen. If I had an hour to solve a problem, I'd spend 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about the solution. Do you all know who made this famous quote? Can you type on the chat window?
Albert Einstein.
Great. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. It is Albert Einstein. So even though this might look like very, very simple, but this is so profound, right? Because many times, either in our day-to-day work or in your college, or morning, we all wake up. There's some problems or the other, right? Yeah. Many times we try to jump into or get into a reaction mode and start getting into a solution, right? So which is where this statement is very profound, wherein what it clearly articulates is you clearly need to understand what is it's really which is bothering me. What is the root cause of my problem, right? Like the way most of us will just have like some external, like I just have some fever or headache, right? But like you need to, why do we all go to a doctor, etc.? You need to know the root cause, right? Only then you can solve it, right? If you just see it superficially, you're never going to do, right? So that's where again, we're coming back to, what is the big picture here, right? Or what is the root cause? Yeah. So primarily, we should know, what is my problem statement, right? I think that is key. Because many times, if we all know or articulate what exactly is my problem, then there are various solutions. You have enough materials on, you're online, or, you can reach out to the right people to solve it. But many times you see, we don't articulate it in the right way, or we look at the problem superficially and just get brittled by some of these constraints, right? So this is one of my favorite tools, right? This is like the Rudyard Kipling mentioned, the 5 Ws and the H, right? I think this is one, it might look very simple, but this is one powerful tool which all of us need to use in our life. And one thing I need to quote it, right? In part of our Indian schooling system, many times people don't, the teachers at least try to, curtail us from asking questions, right? So which is where we are like, more into a listening mode and just answer, right? But whereas if you see in a Western world, or or when you get into a corporate world and others, right? If you see most of these, new innovations, or whatever has come through, it all would have started with, someone asking a why, why am I doing this? How can I do this better? What is in it for an user, right? And who are my customers, right? When do I need this? When do I position this, right? Uh, Again, these may look very, very simple, but if you just ask me one key takeaway from this entire session, right? If you all, after the sessions, when you all get back to your work or into your colleges, or right, you start questioning yourself, right? More like, who am I, right? Like, yeah. So you start questioning in terms of, things, then there's a lot of things which will unfold, and that will, and you will see that, mystically, there are a lot of ways where, you will get some solutions, right? As you would have seen, there have been a lot of discoveries which were made in a dream, because people were thinking about it, but they knew what they were trying to solve, right? Same as the way when Newton tried to at least discover gravity, which always existed, but we're just thinking, and when an apple fell down, and then he was able to discover gravity. No one would have thought, just that apple. Now, how this apple has become a big brand and it stands for innovation, right? Yeah. So in a way, I'm leading to that. As all management students are here, this is where I want to take a quote of one of the famous management guru. Here, I'm not even going to ask you who it is, and this is Peter Drucker, right? And again, I'm just alluding to the fact, right? Many times, right? We make a big mistake. It's not just due to wrong answers. There is nothing right or wrong. but the dangerous thing is asking the wrong questions, right? Or let's put it in a positive way, asking the right questions, right? Okay, which is where all those 5 W's and H, right? Why am I doing this? Okay, is there a better way to solve this, right? And how can I, okay, be of how can this be of help uh, to the current situation, right, or to the society at a large, right? This is okay. That's where, as a management student, if you all think, okay, I'm studying a finance or marketing, I'll say that, okay, more than anything, right? Okay, all of us here are, okay, if we are able to ask the right questions through our college days or through our work life, okay, and ask ourselves, and then if you are able to merge your personal purpose with whatever is your academic or a college or a corporate purpose, and if you couple it with the social need, right, then then you are into path of discovery and entrepreneurship, right? Yeah, okay, yeah. So with that, right, okay, so that's where many times, right, okay, what do some of our end users want, right? Yeah, and most of you know, right, okay, Yahoo was the one, okay, they had their search engines and, okay, the mails, etc., okay, long back, yeah, and we all know who's the leader, right? Yeah, can you all highlight, okay, okay, respond in chat or yeah, using voice, what is it? Okay, this is very simple, but okay, but you see Yahoo is now behind. What is it in terms of this Google's design, right? Okay, which is making it very effective. They don't have much in their main screen, just search box. Do you want to respond?
What is the question, Perumal?
Yeah, in terms of between this Yahoo and Google, so just want people to highlight
Right.
what do they feel, okay, between these two
Yes.
designs, right?
Yes. Yes.
What stands out? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. If you see, Yahoo just took it as let me give more information to customers, right? Yeah, I see different responses, so on. Whereas if you see Google had gone with, at least with the main screen, right? They just gone with, okay, less is more kind of, yeah. It's more, even though we may think it as it just very plain design, but there is a lot of thought process behind all this, right? Yeah, because they've tried to put themselves in terms of, okay, what do their end users need, right? They come to me for, okay, from my algorithm of, okay, which is uh, how it was named, right? Named after Google, which is 10 to the power 10. They come to Google every time in terms of how Google itself has become like a verb, right? Anytime I want to search something coming, okay. So they made it sure that I'm trying to ensure that, okay, I'm giving the most simplistic design, but it is very powerful, that, okay, it is going to give them the most effective search, right? So where I'm alluding to this here, right, okay, it need not be just, okay, like see the cases of, okay, Google, how they are the best innovators, right? So same, we see that, okay, with Apple, how, okay, you add all these smartphones, okay, you add the Nokias of the world and so on. But when they came up with iPhone, right, okay, none of the users were even, okay, asking for what is an iPhone, right? But they determined that what would be the want or a need for a customer, and came up with a brilliant idea which has become a success, and today you see all these big ads of iPhone 12, right? Yeah. So where I'm leading to, right, okay, all these, if you see, right, these are problem solving methods, right? Okay, at the cusp of it, in terms of you're trying to understand, okay, you need to first determine that, okay, what am I trying to solve to help my end customers, right? Or it can be, okay, it could be anyone whom you interact with, right? It could be even in your personal life, right? Yeah. So given, okay, all this introduction, I hope my pace is okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where now I want to break into, okay, so what are these various problem solving methods, and how can we pick up some of the real life examples, right, in terms of how do we solve and, okay, become innovative and differentiate ourselves, yeah, of this. So now coming to our topic, right, which is design thinking. Yeah, all of us keep thinking, this session is about design thinking. It's a buzzword. There's a lot of materials, right? So what is it that new which I'm going to pick up, right? Yeah. So that's why I just want to highlight. Yeah, design thinking is just a new term or terminology which has become like a hot topic, but this has existed for ages, right? So it's still in terms of, okay, just what a human knew always, right? Okay. So that's where if you see now it is being used by, okay, a lot of designers and others, but on a common day-to-day issue, that's where I was giving some examples. We'll go through some more case studies, right? So what is design thinking, right? At the end of it, it is a philosophy or a mindset, right? Okay, which is used again, okay, just for problem solving, right? Okay, it's one of the tools for problem solving, the various tools like I mentioned, yeah. But the key here in terms of, okay, what differentiates design thinking is, even though it is a simple process, but at the heart of it, it seeks to understand the user, yeah. Because at the end of it, I need to solve a problem for, okay, the end user, right? And then I need to challenge the current assumptions. I can't just say like this COVID situation, right? You see the way now, earlier all these remotes, we used to have face-to-face guest lectures, okay, but now earlier if you see, and I was seeing the stock prices, right? Okay, there was a comparative study of all the airline stock prices and Zoom's price as like, okay, Zoom like anything, okay, during this COVID situation, right? If you see 5, 10, at least 5 years back, the Zoom founder was earlier working in WebEx, and he had a suggestion in terms of having like a mobile app, but the team kind of, okay, didn't approve it. He came out and he has created Zoom, and you see now where he is, right? And that is in turn also helping us, right, in terms of all these remote learning and the entire edutech learning. It has taken a total different paradigm shift, right? Yeah. So applying it to, okay, so how is, okay, design thinking, right? Yeah. So it's that we are redefining our problems, we're identifying alternate methods, right, and solutions which are not exist, so which are not existed before only in our material world. But okay, if you see, a lot of these solutions exist. Nature is the best problem solver. If you see, there are various ways which, okay, you see in nature, you would see a lot of ideas, right? Yeah. So yeah, having said that, that's all, okay. If you see, design thinking is nothing but it's a process, right? It's a philosophy, that's what I would say, and sets on hands-on approaches. But more, I would say, if I have to articulate, right, first we need to change our thinking mindset, okay, and kind of come to this mindset that, okay, let me look at this problem with a new perspective. That is one. Next is, what are the various approaches in terms of, okay, how I can try to solve the problem. Great. Yeah. Okay. So with this, let's see what are the differentiators between traditional thinking and design thinking. Yeah, I was highlighting some of it, right? Do some of you want to take a chance as we, before we go through the answers here? Can you put on your chat window based on, okay, what are you have learned? What do you think differentiates traditional thinking and design thinking?
Students, please use your chat box.
Yeah, I can make it as a monologue, but I can, within a click of the button, you're going to get the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you guys, the whole objective, that's it, right? I want you guys to start thinking, right? That's the whole objective, right? Because all the answers lie with you all, right? Each one of us are unique. Yeah, we can come with, yeah, our own ideas. Great. Yeah. So someone is saying traditional thinking, I have the general rules. Lokesh is saying, okay, there are various alternatives which comes in design thinking. Right. Yeah. So let me start getting it. Okay. So again, okay, when I went back to, okay, that Peter, okay. So all the traditional thinking is saying, okay, what is the solution, right? It gets into a solution mode. What is my right answer? Okay. Whereas here, yeah, we start with the root. Okay. What is the question which I'm trying to solve, right? What is my problem? Yeah. And yeah, more talk. Whereas here, it's about listening. Okay, before we start, right? Okay, I need to understand even before the session, right? That's where, okay, I need to understand from Dr. AGV, okay, what is my audience, right? Okay, who are all people who are going to join? Okay, what is of their interest, right? Okay, and where do they come from? Yeah, if I know it, okay, then I'm able to, okay, that's where I kept the session in such a way that I'm keeping, okay, examples which you can relate to, right? Instead of getting into, okay, actual risk management or other areas, right? Yeah, which obviously we will relate to. Yeah. And then, yeah, always, okay, people use data, right? But then there's this fundamental, okay, beautiful thing of, okay, everywhere you hear storytelling, okay, or all these stories, right? Stories are very powerful. All of us listen, yeah, from our grandmothers, grandparents, yeah, and we have read, right, okay. But it's also about, okay, at the end, okay, any story is also about like all the cinemas we watch, right? At the end, it's about you have, okay, anything you see, right, okay, there would be a problem, right, okay, and then there are some masala elements or constraints added to it. But if you make it powerful, right, okay, if you're able to say the story in a better way, which is there most times even in our presentations, that's what they say, right? It's not about the slides or the content, it's a storytelling, right? Am I able to connect with the audience with the right story, saying what is the problem, okay, what is the solution which you have tried to solve, right? Yeah. And instead of just looking at it as events, how can I look at it as experience, right? I just gave an example of barbecue nation, yeah. So that whole dining thing has become like an experience which my son will kind of preserve it, right? And then if it is a special occasion, okay, they even give a birthday cake, etc., and then okay, they come and celebrate, right? So it could be a simple thing, but because there is a connect, you would always become like a repeat user, yeah. And then you try to differentiate yourself, right? Right? Yeah. So there can be just facts. I'm not saying, okay, but here, that's where, yeah, there is a lot of human thing into it, right? Because at the end, we're all humans, right? Okay, it's about talking about feelings, right? That's where if I'm able to connect to you at a deeper level, which means I need to feel what is your current pain point, right? If you see the current COVID situation, there's a lot of contactless thing. Everywhere we go, we see a pedestal with the sanitizer, right? Okay, I'm sure someone who had just invented those, right? Okay, now he will be making in a lot of money, right? Yeah, but it's about, okay, he thought through in terms of, okay, what is there people need, right? People just don't want to, when they go to a restaurant, they don't want to touch anything, right? Okay, so this makes them feel comfortable, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So great. Are you all with me so far? Yeah. So just to introduce you in terms of, okay, what is the process in terms of design thinking? Now that, okay, I started in terms of why we need design thinking and what are the differences, right? Yeah. Uh, Here is where FCC, okay, it's a 5-step process, right? In earlier normal problem solving methods, we always, okay, jump into, like I told, right? Either we get into a solution mode, or many times we try to define a problem. And many of you would have worked in IT industry, right? There'll be someone as a business analyst or, okay, in onshore, they try to say there is some problem, and then you see red offshore people start creating some solution. At the end of it, I'm sure you'd have seen a lot of memes and others. The product which they've created, okay, that's not what the client would have needed, right? Many times because they didn't understand from the user what they needed, or they didn't define the problem correctly. That's where the key here is, okay, this empathize element, right? That's where it puts in the human factor into this entire process, right? You need to empathize with the user, okay, what is his need, right? Okay, so that we understand the problem. Yeah. So let me make it easier with an example, right? Yeah. Because from this, right, okay, we can have a deep dive session on, okay, each of these pillars, and that's how a design thinking workshop happens, where just for an empathize pillar, okay, there are various tools and techniques, and then we can run, okay, like collaborative workshops where we pair up people and give them a problem and ask them to come up with various ways and to, okay, even just for this empathize, right? Yeah. Okay, so given this an intro session, let me try to take a real example, right? We all know Netflix, yeah. So Netflix has been like a pioneer now, okay, right from they started with all these video cassettes, etc. Those were the days, right? Whereas now all of us use the OTT platform, right? So Amazon, you all know, okay, so they are the best in terms of, okay, from a shopping perspective, online, you name it, you get it, right? Okay, but if you see the way Amazon Prime started, right? Okay, uh, it's nowhere, okay. This is never into their Amazon's core business. So I was in one of the NASCOM design thinking summit where I was hearing from, okay, some of these Amazon leads who are working, right? Okay, how do they come up with some of these new products, right? Okay, one beautiful concept is that, okay, they all use this called as like a press release, right? Even before internally, if someone has to come up with an idea, first they have to come up like a proper release, press release in terms of, which means it makes your idea much more clear, right? They have to come up with, okay, what is this product which I'm trying to, this idea which I'm trying to come with, and then they need to come up with, okay, what are all the various, what is the user, okay, what is going to be the differentiating factor, and so on. So which is where when they came up with Amazon Prime, right? Even though again, okay, it could be a new platform, but one beautiful thing if you see, and you also have Flipkart, right? That is also a shopping thing. So you have the Netflix, you have the Flipkart, and you have Amazon Prime. Can you all highlight, okay, respond on chat window? What is this one unique thing which Amazon has done, which kinds of differentiate them from a Netflix or a Flipkart using this Amazon Prime? Anyone want to respond?
Participants, you all have access. You can unmute yourself and you can
Yes. Yeah.
to come. If not, if you find difficult in chat.
Okay. So let me guide you through that, right? If you see Amazon Prime, I've kept it like a Netflix in terms of just a video sharing platform, right? But they opened it to the Amazon users, right? Which is for your shopping. That ways it's also like a additional benefit or alluring people who are not okay into shopping, right? Okay, saying if you have Amazon Prime, right? Okay, then yeah, you also get like, okay, like a free delivery and okay, a priority access. That is one, right? Same in the other way around, right? Okay, to differentiate them between okay, your Flipkarts and others, even though Amazon obviously is a leader, they're saying okay, with Amazon Prime, not just these benefits you get, okay, but you get a whole lot of access, which is your Amazon Prime Video or your Amazon Prime Music, right? Okay, and so on, right? Okay, how beautiful it is, right? Yeah, but that's where okay, if you see, because they were able to empathize with their users, that okay, what do they need, right? Okay, then they try to define okay, what is that problem which I'm trying to solve, right? Okay, and they come up with okay, various ideations. This is where these are various brainstorming techniques, right? In MBA's classes you will do, right? There could be any of your problem, okay, we come up with like a round table, we try to come with a brainstorming approach, right? Yeah, and one other example I want to pick it up, right? I did hear this in Coimbatore as well. I know now with COVID we are all not traveling, and I've not visited your institute, but can someone let me know um, if someone has to come from a bit far and they have to use a public transport using a bus or a train, but from there if they have to reach the institute, and if it is not okay, if there is little bit more distance for the last mile connectivity, and if they don't have their own vehicles, what could be what are the things which has been some recent innovations, right, which could solve that particular problem? Can someone respond? You can unmute yourself or put it on the chat window. So let me repeat. I'm talking of mile to mile connectivity, right? So we all okay might get down at, let's say, your Coimbatore station, okay, and then okay, you take a bus, you have to reach your institute, you don't have your vehicle, and okay, you're not using any of the other public uh, cars and others, right? So you've reached a place, but from there still, okay, there is few more miles where you have to get in. This is a problem in Bangalore, okay. You see, yeah, people come from far, and whereas now it's all deserted roads, which is beautiful to see. But earlier, with the traffics, right, people take a metro, they come, but they to come to the tech park, they always had a last mile connectivity problem. Yeah, so that's where you see all this. Have you all seen this Yulu cycles, or I don't know what is there in Coimbatore? Yeah, I've seen, yeah,
Yulu
those shared
was
cycles.
there, sir, but Yulu was there, but currently they are not operating. It was there for some time.
Right, right, got it. So, but you see that concept, right? It is very powerful, right? Okay, so it's a shared cycle where okay, just for $5 or $10, okay, you just charge it, but you're able to pick it up, okay, go to your college, okay, and then next day, okay, you're able to return it anywhere, right? Okay,
Now
yeah,
the
you see
Rapido is picking up, sir. We have this
Rapido, right?
Rapido,
Bike
which
share,
is
right?
picking up. A lot of students, they use it. The thing is,
Oh, that's great.
at a very low price, 15 rupees, 16 rupees.
Wow, that's nice.
It's
Okay,
picking up very well, Rapido now.
great. But if you see, before Rapido would have started or Yulu has started, right? That's where I want you guys to now look at this process, right? Okay. So you can just say, okay, anyways, okay, there is Olas, there are Ubers, okay, there is bus, there is train, okay, or people are going to come on their own, okay. And if that is the case, okay, then you'd be like, okay, there is no problem, right? Okay. But if you see all these entrepreneurs or others, right, okay, they were able to see some identify pain points, right? Okay, with that, that's what they realized, okay, like, okay, either I need to give like a bike service, or I need to give like, okay, like the cycling, right? Okay, and now it is also becoming a healthy option, right? Okay, then, okay, that's where I'm empathize with the user. Then I try to define my problem, okay, then I can come up with, okay, various ideas, okay, these are various ideas. And more than that, that's where in design thinking, before we do, they try to, okay, make it into like a prototype or like a real love, okay, like a simple prototype, right, which will work, right? Yeah, not like a full-fledged final product, but they make like a prototype. And finally, okay, they try to even test it on users, right? That, okay, I get some students, okay, tested, what is their feedback, because with that, then I will understand, okay, what is working, what is not working, right? So even before today's session, right, okay, I need to, okay, get on call with Dr. Sriraman, and okay, even, yeah, and then try to test it, right? So everywhere those are important, right? Because at the end of it, this is a feedback cycle, yeah. And then you can go and make changes, and in an agile mode and so on. So hope you're all following, right, in terms of, okay, where I'm alluding to. So in summary, okay, where I'm highlighting it, right, it could be, let's even take your college example, right? Yeah. uh, Earlier, everyone had to, okay, travel to take a cat exam, or okay, or any of your, okay, papers, right? Whereas now, okay, you have all these olympiads, or okay, a lot of these online ones which have come in, right? Yeah. So again, okay, it's again a simple problem, but okay, how someone has thought through, right? Or let's take all, okay, your Udemy, or okay, your Khan Academy, or all these online edutech courses which are now taking right, okay, taking everyone by storm, right? So one thing, if you see, okay, so we are doing this session, I know it is recorded, so people can see it, right? And similarly, okay, there are a lot of classroom sessions. Nothing can beat a classroom session, right? Even I've been a lecturer during my start of my before my corporate life. I just enjoyed it, right? You'll never that feel, right? But having said that, okay, but there are also disadvantages, right? So Dr. AGV can take a session, but okay, next day we is not able to come, or next batch, those team members or the students may not get those perspective which Dr. AGV shares, right? So in those sense, this is where when you have a recorded sessions, right, with all these animations, okay, and like Byju's, okay, how it is taking people by storm, right? And yesterday, my son again, okay, for his birthday, he wanted me to subscribe for White Hat Junior. I was like, I was in their demo, yeah. I was really amazed with the way, okay, these guys try to market that to kids, right? Yeah, but simple concept, okay, they start asking, okay, what do you play? And obviously all kids say, okay, I play digital games, right? And then they try to show that, okay, so these are the games, you will only build it, and you can have your own game in your app store, right? Okay, and then they try to market that, make it to the kid, right? Okay, and then even though just a simple thing between, they were just showing like a paddle game where you have to move your mouse, okay, just a position, right? Just your latitude and longitude position, the XY, you have to change. That's what they show. The kids get attracted, yeah. But again, all this, right, it is education, it is game, but you see the way, okay, these guys are trying to figure out a business problem, right? That they see, okay, this is one area where I can tap into, yeah. And then they come up with, okay, like a good framework or a prototype, and then, okay, they're able to solve it, right? Yeah, we'll move on to the next. So yeah, this is exactly where I've been talking about, right? Yeah. uh, Design thinking is nothing but, okay, of all this problem solving thinking, right? In all these examples which I'm saying, right, okay, I'm keeping generic examples, right? Okay, so that you all can relate to, yeah. It is about keeping the human in the picture, at human center, right? If I'm trying to solve it for a kid, either a Byju's or, okay, White Hat Junior, then, okay, I need to look at it from a kid's mentality. Okay, what would be of interest to the kid, right? And it should be future focused. That's what, okay, there should be all these technology elements which needs to come in, yeah. Okay, let me take one more example, right? Yeah, how many of you ordered through Swiggy? Can you respond on your chat window? I'm sure there's going to be most of S's, right? Has anyone of you seen the Swiggy pop-up menu for breakfast recently? Not sure if it is there in Coimbatore or, okay, the other markets, but yeah, yeah. Okay, so in Bangalore, they've introduced that again. Okay, part of this NASCOM summit when I was there, there was this Swiggy's chief design thinking lead was just highlighting it. So they had a they had a problem, right, wherein they got very good orders during your lunch or a dinner. I'm saying obviously pre-COVID, right? But they had a challenge in terms of breakfast ordering, right? Not many were are ordering and so on. Okay, then they realized they spoke with a lot of your bachelor college students kind of audience. That's when they realized that mostly when people wake up on a Sunday morning, they want to order a breakfast. They just want very less choices, and they just want that user experience to be very simple, that within 2-3 steps, click of a button, they're able to make the payment, and the order is placed. And because they're hungry, but they want some simple choices, right? I wake up and I want uh, like a pancake for breakfast, right? If I just have, that's what they made in the pop-up menu. They just add those American options, right? They just show you that, right? And then you choose it, you click it, within 3-4 steps you're able to choose the order, and then it directly takes you to the payment page and you're able to done, right? So then that makes you much more comfortable in terms of ordering again. Otherwise you'd be instead of waiting, let me go to the next restaurant nearby, right? Or yeah. So again, this is again in terms of how they are able to keep themselves in terms of from a what does the user need, right? They're also keeping it from a future focused perspective, right? That is the key. Yeah. Okay. So which is where like the way I've been seeing, so design thinking is going to be the way ahead for us for an improved future, right? Yeah. um, Now let me relate it to because many of you might be thinking, I'm working in risk management, and what are we doing, and is this all just generic concept I'm seeing, right? Yeah. um, so here as well, right? We solve all various client problems, right? Let me take an analytical problem, right? Yeah. So we are like a biggest retailer in the world. Once we are trying to solve the problem, the problem was that uh, um, so they had lot of customers who buy by cash. There are many who had like their membership cards, etc. So when someone has a membership card, they were able to track what is their usage, etc. And they could always come up with a lot of customized offers. But they had these cash customers for whom they want they didn't know how can I what would be their purchase, how can I help them, right? That's where we did a project called Shopper Diagnostics, wherein we try to understand let's say like their retail basket, right? Literally your shopping cart, right? So let's say on a Friday, when you go, you are a cash customer, and let's say Dr. AGV also goes, but let's say he has a membership with Big Bazaar, right? Yeah. Both of them purchase things, but on the basket is here is where you can use all your data science techniques, right? If you try to see what all is in the basket and come up with like a market basket analysis, right? Then if you're able to compare baskets which are similar, right? With a card customer where at least 70% of the basket is similar to even to a cash customer, right? So then is where they can try to see that because surely I know that when Dr. AGV comes next, so let's say 1 month back, if you had gone and ordered um, some item, right? So let's say he's bought a TV, right? Maybe after 3 or 6 months later when he comes, I can give him something which is related to what he would like to buy for a TV, right? Yeah. Like an adapter, or or a Chromecast and so on, right? And I could use that same promotional offer to this cash guy as well, right? While he's billing, right? But for which that's what there needs to be a lot of data on others. But this was a simple problem, but how do you formulate this problem, understand the context, and you add like a constraint that you can never track the cash customers, but then you come up with another innovative way in terms of how you solve this. This is one way, right? Let me give you a risk example, right? So a lot of our clients, they have uh, all of them, now after the 2008 crisis, now and then with COVID and others, right? So they have all this too big to fail, and many of the banks collapsed, right? So which is where the federal regulators came and told that that you all need to now ensure that there is a lot of controls in place, so that there is a lot of governance mechanism in place. Yeah. in most of these cases, that's what, okay, what we try to do is, okay, we call them for, let's say, like a design thinking workshop, and call them, okay, and first try to, okay, make them, okay, leverage them, okay, and pair them up with, okay, people, and try to understand what exactly is the problem they're facing. Most of it, okay, they already have some ways in which, okay, they have like a reporting mechanism or what they are doing, right? So then we try to understand, okay, what are we trying to solve overall, right? Okay, where is the overall industry going, and what does the regulator need? Yeah. And then we also give some of our industry perspectives. I'm saying it only from my personal sense, nothing in terms of, yeah. And then, okay, then once we start making, okay, all this brainstorming, right? Okay, then you would see that we are able to, okay, the client themselves will open up and say, this is actually my pain point. Okay, are you able to help me with this, right? Okay, do you have a tool or accelerator? Yeah, or can we use, okay, a big data to solve this? Yeah. So all the solutions and others are later part, but if you're able to understand what does a client need, right? Okay, then, okay, you're able to do, yeah. So in fact, the lot of clients, okay, now they want to come up with, okay, like new age techniques in terms of how can I detect, okay, a fraudulent transaction, right? Okay, what can I do, right? So they come up with all these problems. Everything starts with a problem, but if you are able to understand that problem better and help them and give them various alternatives and techniques, and take them part of the process, which is where, okay, all the iterative process we saw, right? Yeah, part of design thinking. Yeah, those are the things. Yeah, during detailed workshops you will learn how you can pick it up. But in summary, like I mentioned, right? Okay, it's about, okay, changing your mindset so that we all can solve this problem. Yeah? Dr. AGV sir, how are we going on time? We have 10 more minutes, right? Are you on mute?
Yeah, Perumal, we don't have any constraints on time.
Great. Okay.
Okay,
If that
you
is it,
can, you can
yeah.
go as you wish.
Okay. Then I can get into, okay, some examples as well. Okay.
Yeah,
And
very well.
yeah, part of it, right? Okay. That's what, if you see, Stanford University has started, okay, this design school. That's where all these came up, right? And if you all get access, right, I would say buy this book called Creative Confidence by Tom Kelly and David Kelly, right? Right, okay, from the School of Design Thinking. I've leveraged a lot of these materials, whichever is mentioned here. Yeah, Tom Kelly, one beautiful example which I want to highlight, right? He himself had to go through a lot of personal challenges and so on, and had to fight through cancer, but he came out very strong. Yeah, one of his problem which his company IDEO was trying to solve was, there were a lot of, even some kids who were detected with cancer and others, they had to go through a CT scan machine. I don't know how many of you have gone through part of your, okay, overall health checkup and others, right? Okay, CT scan. But understand, a kid, okay, you ask a kid to go through it, okay, they're generally scared, right? Okay, so this is a medical problem and a health life science problem, but okay, because he has gone through all this, he realized, okay, which is where it's not just about, okay, me solving a problem, okay, just to for others, right? I need to do something which is socially conscious, which I can help people, right? So he came up with a brilliant thing, okay, for GE had all their big machines and so on, which was very uh, mind-boggling for a kid, right? So what he did, okay, what does a kid like, right? He realized, I don't know how many of you have gone to a Universal Studios or a Disney, right? Okay, they say the happiest place on earth, right? You see all those rides and others, okay, they're beautiful, which, but if you see the themes, right, okay, those are the themes which are kid like an Harry Potter ride, yeah, and then, okay, you have a Disney ride, okay, yeah. So then he tried to, okay, leverage, okay, some of those, and okay, and the CT scan machine, okay, he painted beautiful things in terms of a lot of these animations, okay, all these Disney animations and theme, right? He made it like a theme. Then he started testing it, okay, some of his own relative kids and others, okay, and asked them, okay, see now, okay, when they're trying to be put into the CT scan machine, okay, yeah, you're entering a tunnel, okay, where you're going to see a Harry Potter, okay, or you're going to see this, right? Okay, it's going to be okay, and just open your eyes when we say, right? You see the way it's transformed, right? Very, very life threatening, or okay, or which could be a scary moment for a kid, you are able to solve medical doctor's problem, because only if the kid cooperates and okay, they're able to see the scan accurately, they can solve the problem. Yeah. And then, okay, and you have these, okay, the big corporates can design various machines, but if you're not able to use it, right, then there are no use, right? Yeah. So you all see this beauty, right? Okay, how simple thinking, right? Okay, but like you're putting who's your human or the user into things, and then when you try to solve this problem, it's a beautiful way you are able to come up with a solution. Yeah, great. Yeah, so this is where, okay, like the way I was saying, all are problem statements, right? Okay, like the way in corporate world, right, or even when you're at college, right? Okay, first you all need to have a goal. Okay, that's where, okay, that's your business problem or a goal, right? But you have to make it specific, right? And all of us go through this, right, weight loss journey, right? And in COVID you would have seen, okay, so suddenly everyone starts, okay, at one side everyone starts baking and cooking, right, at the other side, okay, then people also want to shed weight, right? Okay, but all this, if you see, you need to make it, okay, like a specific goal, saying, okay, yeah, I want to lose my weight, okay, 10 kgs, right, in 3 months before end of December, right? Okay, you say, instead of just saying it, okay, yeah, I want to lose weight, but rather you make it specific, saying, okay, I want to, okay, reduce 10 kgs by December using healthy techniques and exercising and so on, right? Okay, then you made your goal very smart, right? Which is, you made it specific, you made it measurable so that you can track it, okay, and then you have also given, it's more like a commitment you're given to yourself, okay, how do I see myself, okay, once I lose my weight, okay, I'm going to look beautiful, right? Okay, yeah, and I will also be healthy and fit, right? Okay, and I also made it realistic. I'm not saying, okay, I'm going to lose much more, right? In, okay, and then I made it time based. Yeah, so this is where, okay, yeah, anywhere, okay, in your college as well, that's what I'm saying. If all of you feel, okay, maybe finance is a tough subject for me, right? Okay, take it like a baby step in terms, okay, let me have a specific goal, right? Okay, let me try to say, okay, how can I make this specific? I want to master this one particular accounting subject which is difficult, or derivatives which is difficult for me. Yeah, then, okay, and before this period, yeah, if I state it correctly, then what are the alternatives? Okay, either I can read materials or go for some extra classes or talk with one of my friend who is good at it, right? Okay, then you'll be able to figure out and solve the problems, right? Yeah, got it. Yeah, I want to touch upon, okay, one more technique, okay, given that we have some time. uh, yeah, and this is again, okay, going back to, okay, the key questions based solving problem. It's a very simple tool, but it is very powerful, right? So first, once you understand, okay, you define the problem, then you define what is your key question, right? And you understand the context. Yeah, then it's like a simple, okay, like the way, this is how our mind thinks, but okay, it's about how we put it into, this is what we call as the decision trees or issue tree, right? Then you try to, okay, come up with, okay, what are the various kind of solutions which can come in alternatives, and then we can try to see how we can improve. Are you all with me so far? Great. Yeah, now let's take a sample problem. Yeah, yeah. So this is the problem. It might look simple, okay, but like again, these are pre-COVID days, right? And Bangalore and, you know, Chennai and others, you'll see this, right? Okay, there are these big IT parks, but okay, the cars of the employees of a company do not fit into the parking lot. Yeah. So I want to make this really interactive, and I would appreciate if some of you can answer on voice. Can you tell me, okay, what is the key question we are trying to solve here? Just, okay, just formulate this into a question. I've given you a problem. Can you formulate this into a question? Anyone? Okay. Megha, Magesh, I see, or Lokesh, do you want to take a stab at it?
Sir,
Yes. Megha, tell me.
um, uh, sir, we can use different parking location for the cars, sir.
See, again, thanks for your answer, but you see, you're gone into a solution. Okay, that's where, see this. I just want the question. What are we trying to solve, right? I see Balaji Shanmugam on the, okay. Balaji, are you there? Given your industry experience, do you want to take a stab at it?
Sorry. Yeah, one moment.
Yes, Balaji.
I missed the question actually.
So the problem is, the problem is the cars of an employee. See, in an IT park, okay, I have something on my screen. I'm not sure if you're able to see. The cars do not fit into the parking lot. That is a problem. Yeah. So we first want to identify what is the question we are trying to solve here. Can you take a?
I got a question. Like I am facing this problem actually. I work with Schneider Electric, and we are at Hindi, the Samurai Tech Park. Earlier, when our company took contract, they took X number, 100 cars or something like that. Later on, company gave a policy to buy cars also, like some car allowance and all. So most of people, other people also bought the cars. Like, who was needing also, they bought the car. But the actual problem is not buying a car. Then, it turned out to be, like parking spaces. So our still last 4 years, I think this thing is going on. People are not able to take a decision. Two options are there. One is to observe who's like our business model is like this, like few of
Balaji,
traveling always.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. Okay, which is where it's good. Give me the background and so on. But again, right? I just want to for the other students.
I went into the answer.
Yeah, into the answer, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, right? So simple. No. Just see, this is exactly all of us because we have not gone through, problem solving in our colleges or schools effectively, right? Many times, we are getting but with this problem, I just want you to take one more stab at it. You've given me a beautiful background in terms of your real situation you're facing in your current office, right? Yeah. So if let's say you are the operations lead, what would be the key question or a problem statement you will put it, which you can put it to the management, I just want us to stop there. Just one liner in terms of
or like this person will be interface between the employee and the top management. That's what you say.
Correct. Yeah.
Putting the employee's problem to the top management.
No. Yeah, that is one. But actually, you are like the in all IT parks, you will have an operations lead, right? Who has to infrastructure lead, right? Yeah. He has to manage the entire building and so on. Yeah? So you need to solve this.
I will come now. Now I had a break. I'll tell what our operation lead suggested. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
That will be easy for me. Okay. They gave two options. First come, first serve basis. Because normally, the employees are like, since we keep traveling, you will come at 9, and though it's 9 o'clock is the actual time, you will come at 9, 9:30 or 10. First solution they gave was to first come, first serve basis. So that will have positive impact on time factor of employees. So they'll come on a regular time. And also, this will solve the problem. First 100 cars are filled, then stop the one-on-one car and send it on a outside parking or like park it on the other side as possible.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, Balaji. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Perumal,
yes, Dr. Rajim.
You could see some questions in the chat box.
That's what. Okay, I'm going to use it.
Please.
Yeah, great. Okay. See, I see at least. Some of you, right? Vedika, great. At least you are now looking at it from a question, right? You're asking why do the cars not fit into the parking lot? Yeah. See, again, compared to a lot of others who are getting into solution mode, you see some others are saying, they need to come. Why do they need to come in a car? Yeah. Arvind, okay. Yeah, let me ask Arvind, right? Arvind is my batchmate. I think he's joining from UK. Arvind, do you want to give a bit more background on your question? How do I ensure reliable car parking space for my employees?
Yes, Perumal. So it's nice to hear you going through the design thinking process. It's very interesting. So the way I try to look at this is, how do I provide a reliable parking space for my employee is the key question that we are trying to solve.
Great. And Arvind, that's great. We will get into it, but do we want to look at it even wider, right? Yeah, or broader, okay? Is it just at the same time, are we just solving only the parking space problem? But at the end of it, we are trying to solve a mobility or a commute problem for the employees, correct? Can we put it that way? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'm just these are thanks. Okay. See, these are different perspectives, but is why I'm just hearing from different people, right? Okay. Many times, if you see whatever So Shanmuga Priya is again asking what are the alternatives for the car, right? Again, it's getting into solution, right? Where will others park their car and so on, right? Yeah. So let me get into the issue tree based. Okay, how can we approach this, right? Are you all able to see my screen? Yeah. So at the end of it, right, like Arvind was trying to say, right? Okay, how can we solve the saturation of this particular parking lot? Okay, if you see, that's like the question. Even if I have to make it wider, I can even say, how do I solve a commute problem or a mobility problem for my employees? And given now with COVID, right? Commute itself is not even needed. Okay, if I talk of remote working, I don't even need an employee to come, right? Yeah, but where I'm trying to lead you all to, right? Okay, the moment we are just trying to see that, okay, uh, uh, if I don't ask the right question, you see the way this question is moving from left to right there. Once I ask it in the right way, okay, how can I first solve this car parking space saturation problem? Then it leads me to, okay, two broader things, right? One is how can I increase the capacity of the lot, which is either, okay, I get one more floor for parking, or I get one more building, right? Or that's where, okay, then it gets into deeper, right? How can I expand its dimensions? Okay, I can, okay. And in many cases, right, let's say your DJ Academy, I'm not sure of your parking space. I'm sure you should have enough, but once a building is built, okay, I don't think, okay, we can just go and expand and say, okay, now I'll bring from 1,000 square feet, I can not make to a 5,000 square feet, right? Rather, okay, I can buy another extra space. That's one, right? Can we put more cars in the current space? Any of the students, have you gone to malls? Have you seen multi-level parking? Yeah. Isn't that a, okay, different way to see that? Okay, we all might be thinking, okay, yeah, here only 100 cars can go. But once you have multi-level parking, you see, okay, you can put more cars, right? See, but that's what I'm saying. Okay, where I'm alluding to, I'm just taking a simple example with different perspectives. See, only when we ask the right question, right, it can, okay, this is like an infinite number of possibilities where we can brainstorm into different, okay, areas, right? Okay, otherwise, if we just say, okay, how can I solve the, okay, just parking thing, and there is one more thing, right? If you see the other node, one other is how can we reduce the number of cars, right? That is also one way of solving it, right? And in employees, okay, now with COVID, okay, the simpler thing is, okay, let me sack employees, the number of employees will decrease, okay, so the number of cars reduces. Or the other, okay, only when you look at it, you'll see, okay, can I look at carpooling as an option, right? Or can I use Ola, Uber as an option, right? Or can we have buses, right? Or that's what I'm saying, right? Okay, can we get into Yulu, right? Or those bicycles, yeah? Or can I give people remote working options so that, okay, they need not come every day? Or I can say, can people come alternatively? Okay, yeah. Arvind, given this context, okay, what do you think in terms of, okay, your question, and do you want to elaborate a bit more in terms of from your real life example in UK? Do you want to give additional thoughts, Arvind?
Specific to this context, Perumal, yeah?
Yeah, you can take any other example also. That's also fine. Given, okay, we're trying to say how we are able to, if you are able to determine a question correctly, right? How that can actually lead us to endless possibilities.
Yes, this is something that we have used quite a lot in our organization. So I used to work for a bank for a long time in the UK. I've just recently moved the job. But whilst I was with the bank, we used to follow the design thinking process for coming up with solutions for customer problems. And we always say that, if we are able to identify and define the customer problem correctly, that is half of the battle won. So
Awesome.
the fundamental to solving any problem is to define the problem correctly. And we have seen that in so many cases with respect to the way we interact with our customers as part of our everyday banking.
Great, yeah. Thank you so much, Arvind. Thanks for joining, and I know it's a bit late for you. Yeah. So Balaji, like the way you were talking about your Schneider Electric problem, right? So are you able to understand this, Balaji? Like if you see, if you're just looking at it only from the car parking lot issue, right? Then we're just trying to solve only one particular dimension of it, right? But the moment we are able to define it in a broader way, right? Okay, That's where if we try to see, okay, how can I solve the, at the end it is about, okay, employees need to come to office or they need to work, right? That's where it's about, okay, like a mobility problem for them, right? And that's where if we can also do this, right, we can make some people come alternate days, or like in Delhi, right, you made this odd and even thing, right? Okay, when you do it, okay, you are able to solve that problem, right? So even though I'm taking a generic example, like Arvind mentioned, okay, all this we all use in our day-to-day life, and okay,
Maybe
in
you're
actual,
gone post-COVID, is it? Like alternate days for the employees?
yeah,
Or in
yeah,
a
this
normal,
is
yeah.
correct, yeah, well, good, yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. No, the solution what they are giving is like after post-COVID thing, right? Alternate days calling an employee, right?
Yes, yes. So actually, this is like pre-COVID normal days I was talking about, but that's where Balaji. What I am trying to say is
Okay.
part of whenever, okay, we are trying to solve a problem or a solution. Okay, one more thing to keep in mind is let us not worry about, okay, there is a constraint. Okay, due to COVID, people will not be able to travel. Yeah, let us forget about all this. Okay, let's come up with all these possibilities. This note actually, okay, when we do it on a live space with a big screen, and okay, make people, okay, write it, and okay, we use something called murals, okay, where we come up with all this, right? But we want to come up with all different possibilities without any constraint. Then what we can do is, okay, then we can do the opposite of, okay, then we can start striking down what else will not work out. Maybe there are budget constraints, or maybe, okay, this will not work out, right? Okay, that we can strike out. But in all this, right, you see this entire session, okay, what I just at least want to introduce to people, obviously design thinking is a much, okay, it's a very big ocean, right? But this particular session is just about, okay, normal day-to-day problems, right? Okay, I need to, okay, even what dress I need to wear in the morning, right? Yeah, everywhere in our mind we always think through, like, okay, different all these questions, right? Okay, okay, do I need to match it with this or so on, right? Okay, or what do I do, right? So if we start making our thought process in a structured way, that instead of getting into a solution mode, first we define what is our problem, then we come up with, okay, different alternatives, then there'll be a lot of sub alternatives which will come, right? And then you can have, okay, corresponding solutions for those. Then when you work with the right SMEs and others, you will be able to strike out what is not needed and so on and solve it. Fair? Yeah, great.
Yes.
Sure, okay. So this is where, okay, I want to take questions here, but that's what I'm ending it with. Okay, you see nature, right? It's the most beautiful example in terms of, okay, God's creation. We all need to just observe, right? It could be in a jungle, animals, or, okay, you see all this flowers, or, okay, you see a butterfly, right? Okay, lot of elements in terms of, okay, all this. So when I say design, that's what, let's not just think of, okay, only these aesthetic elements of design, right? If you see design thinking, that's what, it's not just only from, okay, the look and feel, okay, or your website designing. This can be used anywhere. I'll just give one more live example, and then, okay, at least uh, wrap up for questions. The which is, I'm sure most of you, okay, have built your new houses, and okay, you would have gone to your interior designers. As any one of you, earlier we just used to hire a carpenter and others. Let me check if Sriraman sir is there, or Dr. AGB, if you can respond. When the institute was designed,
Yeah,
did you guys, yes sir, did you use just a normal carpenter, etc., to like in terms of either furnitures or design, or did you use any interior design firm?
No, it was a normal carpenter, sir.
Right, okay. Now when, okay, I don't know how many of you know it, okay, we moved to a new flat, and okay, and then there were a lot of ads. They're saying, okay, within 45 days we will do all this, but come over and there is going to be an immersive session. So there are these companies called Design Cafe, Home Lane, and others. Go there and they can surely blow you out of, right? Okay, you went with family, with my kid and others, and then so they have, like, okay, like a live 3D design which they show, and they understand, okay, what is your bedroom size, what is your hall size, and others. And then, okay, the moment you say, okay, I need a TV shelf, right? Okay, they start putting in their live, right? Okay, so they have their softwares, yeah, and then you can design your colors and so on, so you feel, okay, this is my home and I'm able to see that, right? And similarly, okay, if I need uh, any other aesthetic element there, okay, we can give suggestions and they're going to add to it. And and what also happens is, right, okay, along with, okay, once we say, no, I need and waterproof wood, right, or okay, I need like a very nice matte finish, okay, all those, okay, you select, then that will all get added to the pricing as well, okay. So immediately an invoice, everything will also get generated, right? And then what they do is, okay, they build everything in their factory, okay, where, okay, they do all the initial cutting and others. And when it came to after those 45 days, when it came to the house, it was all boxes, right? And I had my study table or work table, right? They're cleanly numbered and so on, all these processes they're using. Then the carpenter comes, they have to, okay, their job is only this drilling and fitting just for 15 days. But this entire process, okay, obviously a lot of other you miss a lot of other elements, that is, okay, but you see the way a traditional thing like a carpenter using, we've been using for the furniture making, right, has changed now. Or these homeowners, right, okay, how they are able to target them, they're able to they market them, or okay, get us onto what we like, right, okay. So you use technology, you use a lot of these design elements, and you always have like a demo house they show, you will get really, okay, and then you have all these uh, what is it, different, okay, a lot of latest technologies, right, they have in terms of even wardrobes, right, or kitchen, modular kitchens, right, the way they have all those new things, then your family will get blown away. And then, okay, obviously there's a lot of money you have to spend based on that. Yeah. So that's where I wanted to, okay, I've given you examples all from real life, right? In Amazon or a Swiggy or a design cafe or a home lane, compared to, okay, what you do in a college, your edutech or Udemy, right, okay, to all this. So this is something we can use anywhere, right? That's where I want to pause now for questions. Yeah.
Perumal, nice listening to you almost for the last 1 hour, 15 minutes. Good enough. I have a question. To what extent the companies, I'm talking about the companies which are for profit, okay?
Yes.
To what extent the companies have started adopting this design thinking for coming out with solutions for the society?
I think that's a beautiful question. Let me, I'm just thinking through, right? See, I'll also be honest, okay, from a corporate social responsibility and others, right, okay? So people
Yeah.
try to do different things, right? Yeah. Whereas, okay, when it comes from work and others, you do, right? But like I mentioned, okay, again, uh, let's not just get boggled down with, okay, design thinking, okay, I need to do all this process to come up with, right? I'll take a simple example. Yeah.
Yeah.
So even in our firm, right, where we wanted to celebrate, okay, 10 years since, okay, our team was started. Yeah. So earlier, right, okay, I'm doing, okay, there are different options, right? Okay, let's just take this like a decision tree approach, right?
Yeah.
You call your leads or you call your employees and ask them for, okay, some of the solutions, right? Yeah. That's what, the moment you try to, okay, like the way you rightly put it, no, sir, okay, if I just limit it to say, okay, it's 10 years, okay, I just want a celebration, then I can just have a party, or okay, or I can just call, okay, go to a restaurant, okay, take the team in, right? The moment I add and define my problem clearly that I need it for a social cause, right?
Yeah.
Then you get a lot of different people, and okay, then you also have, then when you try to put like a that decision tree, what would happen is, right, okay, then you have infinite possibilities, right? So which is where, okay, people came up with a lot of suggestions saying, okay, can we like do like this blog run, yeah, where,
Okay.
okay, near our office, okay, go and okay, pick up a lot of these garbages, right? And the other suggestion which came is, right, okay, there are some NGOs which are building like, okay, like this Milwaukee forest, okay, to kind of help yeah, so those trees, etc., which are planted 4-5 years back, now they start growing pretty fast, and that place is very, very cool. Now we went and checked just recently, right? So that idea came in, right, okay, can we join with, okay, some of these people to, okay, do this, right? And similarly some others were saying, okay, can we go adopt some schools? And many schools, they told, okay, probably our place is not painted properly, or okay, we need some, okay, help, right? So then, so at least, okay, I'm just given you ask me this, right, okay, I'm just taking this example. Yeah. The problem was simple, right? Okay, how do we celebrate our 10 years journey, right? But we are also adding in a bit more specific ones, okay, in a socially responsible way,
Yeah.
which is giving back to the environment. Okay, the moment we have asked that right question and so on, like the way you told, okay, now there is a bit very good human connect and others, right? Okay, people also feel, okay, instead of just spending my money lavishly unnecessarily, rather this is something which people will also remember long run, those fees, etc. Okay, you will always and at the same time, okay, we try to get different ideas, right? Okay, then you try to split people into all these different things, and okay, then you have a team and you are able to solve it. Okay, but I hope I was able to
Yes.
answer your question. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Great. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anyone?
Yes, Mr. Perumal, a small question from my side. How do
Yes,
you use design thinking to come out with new financial products? Or how do you use that in financial engineering to come out with new products? Because it's
Great,
all
yeah.
about changing user experience or using the data of user experience and coming out with new products. So how far would you be able to utilize this in financial engineering?
Okay, awesome. Let me give a generic example, right? Okay, from the market in terms of financial services. Yeah. See, all of us, okay, have been just going to traditional banks in terms of loans and so on, right? Yeah. And most of us, okay, now with demonetization, now you all know your Paytms, your Phone Pay and Google Pay, right? Okay, those are great example in terms of how people were able to think differently in terms of solving the payment problem. Let me take other example in terms of, given I've been into credit analytics for a long period, okay, in my past, where we used to do a lot of like this credit scoring, right? Okay, because we have worked with credit bureaus in terms of coming up with those. Now you see there are a lot of new players who have come in the market. Now with COVID situation primarily, okay, I'm sure in Coimbatore, there are a lot of small and medium enterprise companies, right? They're all struggling for credit, okay? Now people can't just go to a bank and, okay, they have to give a lot of documents and so on, okay? And people are like, okay, I'm already struggling, I need loans, yeah? If they don't get loans, there'll be credit crunch and, okay, the economy will not, okay, grow, right? Yeah. So this is where, if you see, US also came up with something called like a CARES Act, where they told, okay, that they will identify some of these people who really need in this SME and sector and others, and they will start giving them funding, right? So same as the way, okay, even in India, if you see, okay, all those have started, right? So here now let me link it back to your beautiful question on, okay, how can I come up with a new product? Yeah. So now there have been a lot of apps which have come in, right? I don't know whether you guys know of, okay, if you guys can go and look at, there's something called lending card which has come, right? And there are a lot of such new things which are coming up. So what this firm does is, even though it has started 4-5 years back, I recently was reading through what they were trying to solve. So all these SMEs can just, using their app, just apply for and working capital loan, or for anything in terms of a short-term loan or a term loan for their SME industry through the app. Instead of just giving like their past IT returns and others, what they're also using is sometimes when they don't have data, even like utility bills, electricity and whatever they're paying, right? And similarly their bank statements, so those are transaction level detail, right? Data. So basically they're using the power of data and AI, right? And using the latest technological form. This is all your fintechs, right? And just online, sitting at your home, those SMEs, right? They can apply for these loans and get those loans approved in a very quick point in time, because all these algorithms work in the background, right? Review their their credit worthiness and whether there are a lot of factors which it look at, right? And then it would approve a loan depending on, let's say if it is below 2 crores, etc. I think then the scrutiny and others would be less. So that ways, then this particular SME is able to get a working capital loan at a very fast pace of time, compared to, let's say, if you had to go to a national bank and nationalized bank and apply for it, you have to wait for a process with COVID, right? It's going to take a lot of time. Dr. Deepa, was that helpful?
Yeah, but one more question that comes to my mind is,
yes,
how the regulators will be very much involved in all this. So how do you come out of both, because solutions are there. A lot of even so many companies are also
Yes.
coming up with peer-to-peer lending. Even so many fintech firms are also. So how do they even convince the regulators also? Because once we don't get that, becomes difficult, to get that into public.
Got it.
So
See,
how do you
obviously,
balance
yeah.
this?
See, that's a
I
fair
can
point.
probably
Yeah,
help with
Arvind,
the
go
real
ahead.
life example here, Perumal. This is something that I have personally experienced when working for a bank in the UK here. Now, what we see here is, now I'm talking about the regulators in Europe and in the UK. Previously, the regulators used to tell the financial services firms and banks that, okay, this is what I want you to do to follow certain regulatory requirements. So they used to say, this is how I want you to charge the interest. This is how I want you to apply the payment. This is how I want you to say score an application. So they used to provide the requirements, and they used to ask the banks and financial services institutions to apply those requirements. Of late, in the last 5 years or so, I see that the regulators are now telling not only what to do to the banks, they are also telling the banks how to do that as well. So the very good recent example is the open banking APIs. I don't know if you guys have heard about it. Open banking API, what it essentially means is that every bank should be able to share the data of their customers to an authorized third party if the customer is willing to do so. What this means is that the banks are able to share the information to anybody who the customer authorizes. And this is a requirement that has come from the regulator. And the regulator is saying, you have to not only share the information, but you have to share it in an API. So now, what this means is that this requirement itself is an output of a design thinking activity from the regulator side. So most of the times we see that regulatory requirements are a kind of a hindrance or a problem in taking a product to the customers or to the consumers. In this specific instance, it is the regulators who are driving the innovation with the existing banks to help take the product to the customer in an effective way. So all major banks, traditional banks, have been forced to go down the route of a design thinking because of the way the regulator have applied design thinking in coming up with solutions for open banking. They wanted to promote competition in the banking industry. Normally, we see that when we open a bank account with a particular bank, the switching doesn't happen too often. Even if there are some problems or some dissonance with the existing banks, the switch doesn't happen so easily. They wanted to make sure that the switching becomes easier, consumers get the best out of the banks, so they are forcing the banks to share the information and promote competition. Now when this open banking API came in, we applied the design thinking concept there as well, and then we came up with several innovative products. One of the examples that I can provide you here is, normally when we log into a bank account, let's say for example I have a bank account with State Bank of India, I log in, I see my accounts and balances. With the open banking APIs that came in, I asked my customer to authorize me to fetch the balances information and transactions information from another bank account that I have with ICICI. Now, what this means is that once customer approves State Bank to access the information held about my customer in ICICI, I'm able to combine all the data and then show the balances and transactions of all the accounts held in other banks as well under one portal. So if I log into State Bank of India portal today, I am able to see not only my accounts and balances and transactions with State Bank of India, but I'm also able to see the balances transactions in ICICI Bank as well. Two things happen here. One is, if State Bank of India is my primary bank account, then I am within the same State Bank of India online portal. I'm able to see the transactions balances of all the accounts held elsewhere outside of State Bank of India. So that's the benefit that is given to the customer. The second benefit for State Bank of India is, in this hypothetical example, I get to know the balances and transactions of my customer held elsewhere. And if, for example, my customer has a fixed deposit account with ICICI, which is paying a 0.5% less interest, I'm getting that crucial insight to attract my customer to move that fixed deposit away. So I become the primary bank for my customer. So these are the ways we apply design thinking in financial services world to come up with innovative products. And in the recent past, I'm seeing that regulators are joining hands in driving the innovation-led design
Yeah.
thinking processes in taking financial products and services to the consumers.
Wow. Thank you so much, Arvind. I think giving like real life example from your UK, from the prudential regulators, and also the Indian example. Um, just to add on, right, Dr. Deepa,
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant question, right? Because most of our work, okay, due to this regulatory body is where, okay, you see, even after the crisis and others, right, okay, there are a lot of things which are still staying, right? So let's take a very simple example, which, okay, most of the students will be able to relate, right? You take Paytm, right? What is the primary regulatory restrictions they were bringing in? And you would see some recent ads also. They wanted all the KYC to be done on Paytm app, right? Yeah. So that is what, okay, a regulator tries to bring in to ensure that, okay, there is compliance and so on. Yeah. But then they use, because the regulators obviously at the end, it's not like they want to be away from all this technology and others. If you come up with a proper use case and highlight, okay, how is it going to be beneficial for the overall financial economy, right? Okay, they're all ready. Yeah. So in that sense is where, okay, if you see, then they came up with this Beam UPI and others, right? Which is a government UPI, which now you are able to leverage in terms of transferring the money, even though you're using all these wallets. But in turn, when you're using a Beam UPI, then okay, it is an RBI-led UPI is what I understand, right? Yeah. So that's all right. Okay. When regulators are getting involved, right? Okay, they surely need to be, okay, the checks and balance in terms of whether this is not getting misused. But at the same time, right? Okay, come up with, okay, other technologically advanced ways wherein you are able to solve this problem in a much effective way. I think, see, that's where it, okay, this whole session, etc. I know, just touching the tip of the iceberg, right? You see these examples really, okay, either in UK context or, okay, or a production company or like Schneider Electric or any bank or anywhere, okay, we can relate all this. But at the end of it, right, that's what I want students to take back, or, okay, all of you, is that's what this mindset where, okay, let's not have all the constraints in us before we start. Obviously, the regulators, there will be government will have, okay, their own questions, but that's where let us first identify all the list of, okay, what are we trying to solve, what are the solutions, also then highlight what are all the challenges, right? Then try to say, okay, if this is a challenge, okay, then I'm sure there'll be a solution for it. That's how people have been able to, okay, go and solve one by one, and it has reached to it. But thank you so much. I think the question was very brilliant for you to, okay, for me to connect with, okay, what is the work which we all do in terms of, okay, and connect it back to this topic. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Perumal.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anything from the students? I just want at least some feedback, whether what have they understood, right? If they just felt it, this was just gyan, or do they?
Okay.
Lokesh wants to come in, sir. Lokesh.
Sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I am Lokesh from DJME, second year MBA student. It was a very nice and thoughtful session, sir. My question is how we can develop the habit of asking the right questions, sir.
Great. You're asking that in a question mode. This is awesome, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this is brilliant.
On
right?
the right track.
Hey, you are on the, yeah. See, I'm very happy that, okay, at least that's what I told, right? Even, okay, after all the session, you guys forget all this banking concepts and others. That's why I don't know, okay. At the end of it, right, okay, this is exactly the crux of it. I'm so glad you asked, right? All of you, that's what I'm saying, okay. If you go back, see, and then obviously I'll also tell you, right, okay, I don't have an direct answer to this, okay. Yeah. And let me take it a bit philosophical or spiritual, right? I'm sure some of you, I don't know, okay, latest generation, you all know of Ramana Maharishi, who lived in Tiruvannamalai, right? The simple question.
So I think we have a low bandwidth with the speaker, sir. You should join back.
Yeah. Can you call him, Sri Raman?
Yes, sir. He has told me in case if he's having some problem in bandwidth, he will connect another line.
Oh, right.
At the beginning, I'll just check with him.
Right.
Sir, he lost his connection. He's logging in back, sir.
Yes, yes.
The participant, just hold for a few minutes. The speaker will come in.
How long the session would go? Like,
I think we are in Q&A, sir. Maybe I think anytime we should complete.
thanks.
Mr. Balaji, thanks for joining. Where are you now?
Myself in Chennai.
Oh, right, right. Okay. You belong to the same batch?
Sorry?
Do you belong to the same batch?
No, I'm his cousin actually. Perumal's
Oh,
cousin.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Arvind, you are the batchmate of Perumal, am I right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Oh, right. Where are you? You're in UK?
Yes, I'm based in a place called Milton Keynes, which is around
Okay.
50 miles north of London.
Oh, nice of you. Thanks for joining.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
I think I think Perumal is back.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, there was some.
Yeah.
See, again, Lokesh, sorry, I don't know how much you heard. I'm really glad you asked me that question. So same here, right? Okay, now I have a technology issue. You see, even earlier before start, I spoke with Sriraman sir. I had a backup in terms of another laptop. But this is the third backup from my mobile where I'm joining in, right? Using my 4G network. Yeah. So simple thing is, right? Okay, that's what. There are no easier answers, but one thing which I know, right? Okay, maybe somewhere in our Indian schooling thing, we're always being asked not to ask questions, right? Rather, okay, from now on, right? I'm sure instead of make this an habit, right? Okay, you can be in your classes. Okay, next class you are there, right? Yeah, do some homework and try to see, is there something relevant which I can take away from there? Can I ask that question, right? It need not be in the class. You can go and ask outside, and similarly, okay, ask something for yourself. That's how you will know what is your purpose or what is your career interest, what you want to do, right? So same as the way, okay. Let us just that's what I'm saying. Okay, those 5 W's and H. Anything in your real life, right? Okay, start asking. Okay, why is it that this is important, right? Why is this important for me? Yeah, or what is it that this session is trying to convey for me, right? Start using those words. Okay, once you use those why, what, how, where, right? Okay, answers will start flowing into you automatically, and nature will also guide you to the right people. Did that help, Lokesh?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Sorry, I know Arvind was speaking. He was my MBA batchmate. Now he's in UK.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions from?
Sir, this Kinder Joy, this chocolate has come for kids now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
can you tell this is a kind of design thinking product?
Yeah, see, I think that's where, obviously, yeah, we can always relate to it. See, but my only caveat is don't think just because it has a very good design, it's related to design thinking. That's where we were also giving a lot of other examples. But yes, surely, right? If you see the normal chocolate market, okay, I have 2 kids and know it, right? Because it looks innovative, right? It captures kids' attention, and you also see the price is also high. You see the way they market it, okay, that there'll be one gift also inside it and then people pick it up, right? But the essence is the same, right? How can I differentiate my product? Okay, that's the question they would have asked. And what is the need of the kid which I'm trying to solve, right? What is the unique element I want to attract, right? Okay, what kind of design element can I put it which is new compared to anything which is there in the market? How do I price it, right? So this is if we start asking those right questions and so on, then you can come up with, when someone would have done a Kinder Joy, I'm sure with all these questions, etc., they would have easily come up with like an egg kind of prototype and say, okay, this is like the product. And maybe some would have told, okay, what this looks like egg, will kid actually like it, right? They could have even gone and tested with some kids and showed that, okay, yeah, do you like this, right? They would have taken those feedback and made it more interesting. Yeah.
So one more question. Coming to the education industry, of late we see a lot of like Udemy, Upgrad, many people coming out with executive programs for working professionals.
Yeah.
So, for instance, if I take one education platform like an Upgrad, they try to sell programs on strategic marketing, on programs on data sciences, where they just have an MOU with freelancing company like TapChief. And
Yeah.
through TapChief, they try to hire faculties, and that's how they connect to the students. Is it a kind of design thing which has come in the education sector, or is it something different?
Yeah, it is. That's what I was also alluding to this example, right? If you see, uh, one beautiful thing is, right, okay, what they're also trying to tap into as a demand is, as a working professional, people were not able to travel, and look at it from, okay, these started even pre-COVID, right? Whereas now, yeah, people are working from home. Okay, earlier, let's say even if I had to come and I want to enroll to, okay, and I am Bangalore or I am Ahmedabad, okay, or to even to, let's say, your institute, right? Okay, I need to travel and come, okay, which will not be possible for me in my work time. Yeah. And what is the other problem, which is uh, you might have like a specific time when you want to do a session. I may or may not be available at that time, right? And similarly, I may not understand the concept immediately. Okay, like Lokesh asked, okay, even though I would have gone through the session many times, okay, only when people go through the lecture back again, okay, it might strike them that, okay, that, oh, there is something much more which was conveyed, okay, or sometimes depending on our mindset, we will be able to understand it in a much better clarity, okay. You see what all this online thing solves is, it brings in an asynchronous mode of learning, yeah, wherein you can watch it anytime, okay, right? That is one. And then it is able to bring in people across, right, okay. So in fact, even for me, right, I was able to connect and so on, okay, for this opportunity with Dr. AGV Sir, because it is remote, yeah. That gives you, okay, earlier probably you would have restricted your guest lectures to, okay, I'm sure you would have got people from outside, but mostly first priority would be, okay, all your Coimbatore institutes or industries there, right? Yeah. Whereas now you are able to get people across, yeah. So that advantage is there for both sides. That is one. And one more thing which they are doing is they are also tying up with, okay, like industry professionals, right? I also keep getting a lot of requests on the analytics side, which is also good, is this mentoring concept, where they try to at least map one student with, okay, one mentor, give them some real life, like a capstone project and others, and have these mentors have like a video call or a connect with them on a weekly basis, and, okay, at least guide them. Because once you also have that industry experience, expertise, people feel a bit more connected and they're able to guide them and work through something. Yeah, but having said that, that's all, okay. A lot of this can still not be a classroom or, okay, the kind of pedagogy which the institutes have, right? I was reading something on, okay, there was some professor who was an like corporate, like you, sir, and then he wanted to join academics. And he had offers in IM and XLRI, but he specifically chose XLRI primarily, okay, in terms of, because he felt the kind of exposure he will get in terms of from a human resource environment, and that particular thing, he feels that even though infrastructure wise IIMs might have much more, I'm just quoting what I read, he personally felt, okay, he will do good, and he was able to go there, and they came up with a lot of, made students come up with new initiatives. Some students came up with an initiative called Parichay, where they tried to connect a lot of rural artisans, and they created a website for them to sell. So I'm just giving an example, right? So tying back with everything, okay, education industry, obviously, it's surely going to take a lot of those disruptions. If we just feel, okay, no, this is not right, and so on. Yeah, I have an institute, okay, and all this. So what we have to do is, we have to see what is the uniqueness, okay, as an institute we have, right? And we can leverage a lot of those, right? You can still have a lot of contact classes. You can connect people with the alumni network, And yeah, because there is an institute, okay, people would be ready to do these industry visits or guest lectures, okay, they'll give those opportunities. Then along with it, okay, see, even as firms, we are also moving towards, okay, all these online learnings, because sometimes it makes it more effective also, and they can do it at their own time. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I think we have reached the end of the program. Thank you very much for joining in from Bangalore and giving so much of insights to our students on design thinking. And I hope there are great takeaways for the students. Thank you very much once again, sir. Sir,
Thank you so
Sri
much.
Raman, sir, over to you.